Welcome to ThinkTech on OC16, Hawaii's weekly newscast on things that matter to tech and to Hawaii. I'm Jay Fidel.
And I'm Duke Oishi.
A great country is entitled to great art, and a great state is entitled to a great symphony. Although we don't have the Honolulu Symphony right now, we do have the Hawaii Youth Symphony, and they're the greatest.
In our show tonight, we'll meet their leadership, conductors, teachers, and kid members. We'll find out what makes them tick, the contribution they make to our community, and we'll hear them play.
For background, we met with Executive Director Selena Ching, Music Director Henry Miyamura, Vice President Tom Bingham, and musician, mentor, and teacher Cheryl Shohead.
When I talk to the students, we talk about music and absorption of the music. So I always use this example. I said, you're all sponges, and you have to suck in as much water as you can. And at the constant time, we squeeze out the water, and this is what you give to the audience. And this is what's so exciting about the students. The size of the sponge is not what you have originally. It just starts to grow and grow, and they just keep absorbing more and more.
But I think for the Hawaii Youth Symphony, it's not our goal to train students to become professional musicians. It's really to get a larger breadth. It's the benefits of music education, a lot of the intrinsic value that you get out of it. That's our main goal. So we're not here to train kids to become professionals or even to go into professional institutes.
So Henry, you've been with the system a long time. I mean, it's a full career already.
Right.
Are there other Henrys in the pipeline behind you?
I think there's a number of my former students that have that drive and momentum to feel the way I feel about music, and unfortunately, some of them just have retired, and they're younger than I am.
Well, I hope there are. I hope there are people following you in the pipeline. But let me ask you this, and I think I already know the answer. What kind of a career has it been for you? Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, yes. If I were to do it again, and I'm given another 50 years, I would go right back and do the same thing.
I'm on the board of directors. I've been there for 4 or 5 years, and right now I'm one of the vice presidents. But I also bring to the table some musical background and also the background of having had a son in the Youth Symphony for 2 or 3 years. In my previous life, I was band director at UH, and I also taught high school for a while, and I've since gone into administration at UH. I'm committed to education, and especially music education, and I knew even before my son joined the Youth Symphony that it was a dynamic organization that was doing a lot of good. Music education works for kids in so many ways. I mean, classical music has been around for hundreds of years, and it just doesn't go away. So there's something about classical music that speaks to people. Using that as a vehicle to help kids in many aspects of their lives is one of the remarkable things about being able to do music education. When I was teaching in high school, one of the things I really treasured was having the opportunity to see kids from their freshman year all the way through to their senior year. You have to have your individual talents and abilities, but you have to be able to use those and push those down to be part of a broader group, because an ensemble of, say, 60 cannot sound like 60 individuals. Individuals have to set aside their individuality to be part of a team and be part of something that's greater than themselves alone. The expectation is that you as a player are going to have to get better every week, because we're going to give you music that's going to challenge you. One of the skills of teaching is being able to choose repertoire that you know will challenge the students, but that you know they will be able to attain.
I have 3 music degrees, and then I came to Hawaii for a 1-year position with the symphony, and I never left. So I've been here playing for 28 years. So I'm a section first violinist.
Okay.
There are 10 of us that are section first violinists. And I teach a lot of students to play the violin. I usually start around age 4, and I have a program at Waiau Elementary School, a public school in Pearl City. And many of the really top players in Youth Symphony came out of that Waiau program.
So how many years does it take a kid to become proficient?
Well, there are 7 Hawaii Youth Symphonies. I think if someone takes private lessons for a year or 2, they're ready to play in the first Youth Symphony. So it doesn't take that much training to be able to get in on the ground level. And then once they're in, they will see the other kids playing and it will encourage them. And then they'll want to work harder in their private lessons.
Do you encourage your students to join the Hawaii Youth Symphony?
Oh, absolutely. I am so pleased when my private students decide it's time to join the Youth Symphony. All of mine live in the western part of Oahu, from Aiea to Wahiawa, Kapolei, and many of them don't have orchestras in their schools. So the Youth Symphony program fills a gap for them and opens up a whole new world that they've never experienced before. When they do start playing in a youth symphony, in the Hawaii Youth Symphony program, they learn responsibility. The repertoire is often a big stretch for them, so they have to practice extra on their own time. And when they go to rehearsals, they really enjoy working together for a greater whole and contributing, doing their part, just like a sports team. When you see that there are other people just like you who like this kind of music and enjoy doing this, it really is a big boost.
So tell me your thoughts about the Hawaii Youth Symphony as an organization in the community. What role does it play on a broader scale?
I think the Hawaii Youth Symphony has a very important role in the community. It's an outlet for all the kids who don't have school orchestras, and it's an outlet for the kids who do have school orchestras, but they just love to play so much they want more and more. And it's also a wonderful social opportunity for all these kids to get together with other ones from other schools. And they create friendships that last a lifetime.
We also spoke with one of the alumni of the orchestra, David Matsunaga, and child prodigy, now turned composer, Mike Fumai.
I started playing the oboe when I was 12 years old. And
why the oboe?
Number one, it's not a clarinet. And I wanted to play something that was very unusual. Had I known that the band also owned a bassoon, I would probably have been a bassoonist today. Playing in an orchestra is something that you just don't have the opportunity for in many places. Still today, you know. There are lots of schools without orchestras. So I auditioned. I actually did make the audition. All of us were under the tutelage of Maestro Harold Higa at the time, who is today considered one of the deans of music education in Hawaii. And then he passed us on to Peter Mesrobian, and Peter Mesrobian was the conductor of the Youth Symphony. He's the founder of the whole Youth Symphony movement in Hawaii. The formula still remains the same today. You take incredible masterpieces of music, you combine that with an orchestral staff and maestros who are outstanding and who have at their heart the mind of an educator. And then on top of that, you motivate students to perform at the very, very highest artistic level. And this all has, as its start, their experiences in the Youth Symphony.
Sure. So, you know, what kind of an experience is it to compose when you're a kid?
When I started off writing, my audience was my family and my friends. I play them things that I wrote, and they say, "Wow, that's very nice. Wow, you actually wrote that." And yeah, and there comes a time where you need to be proactive and not only show it to your family. And that was, I think, one of the hardest things for me was to show my music to somebody else outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's a big step that I had to take. And that big step was showing my music to Henry Miyamura, who I had no idea what he was going to think. He said, why don't we sight read it with the university orchestra? And I did that, and you know, it sounded pretty good. And he was quite impressed, and he asked me to kind of revise it. He would give me a chance to perform it. And so that's how my music spread out.
How would you describe the music you write?
I think I'm still growing as a composer, and I always will be. The music that I began with was very, very classical sounding, very romantic in nature. If you let's see, some composers like Beethoven, Mozart, and then but the kind of music that really influenced me was music from film 7 years ago. My music sounded very film-like, very cinematic, and when we mention film music today, they usually reference romantic music.
Mm-hmm.
Today, my music is slowly moving away from classical sounds, but it still references classical music. Everything that I listen to that inspires me today kind of finds its way into my music now.
So when are you going to be finished at Michigan?
This is my last semester here. After this May, I'm not sure where I'll end up. I'll be some doctoral program. I might actually stay in Michigan for the doctoral program.
Are you going to come back for your career, or are you going to stay on the mainland?
It depends. I'd like to end up back at home in Hawaii. It really depends on where the jobs are.
I have a feeling you're going to be on the mainland. And so tell me your thoughts about what role the Hawaii Youth Symphony played in all of this fantastic experience you've had in developing your music.
Well, the Hawaii Youth Symphony is a place where the cream of the crop, so the best musicians on the island, could come together and play music. My experience with the Youth Symphony wasn't there just to go there to play notes. It was a different level of thinking, especially under the guidance of Henry Nemore.
We didn't think we could understand this symphony without attending one of its weekly rehearsals. Here's the rehearsal we attended on March 27th. It was incredible.
1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1. G. Now this is the one you gotta watch. Pick up before H, and I'll cut it off. I'm gonna give you another 2, and this is the tempo. 2. One, two, three, woodwind. 1. 1. 1. Read your parts. I go, oh. 1, 2, 3, go. Now. Again, here goes, breath. 1. Gotta really watch on this. Think and.
After the rehearsal, we talked to a group of 3 of the members of the Youth Symphony. As you'll see, they're completely charming.
You guys are friends, huh?
Yep.
You think it's a lifelong thing that you'll always know each other?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
As long as we have Facebook.
Didn't take you too long to answer that.
Not at all. 6th grade, that's when I started playing the trombone. And that was the most difficult thing I ever tried in my life till that point. When I first played it sounded terrible. But then I didn't want to give up for some reason. I wanted to continue until I can play properly, and here I am.
Well, I was born into a musical family like Rory. Like my mom used to play in the Honolulu Symphony. She used to play cello. So I started band in 6th grade. Started on trumpet, of course, and my mom pushed me to join the Hawaii Youth Symphony in 8th grade. It was a really good experience for me because music, even though I'm not majoring in music, it's still a major outlet for me.
But when you're actually playing together and you play right, then you have the emotional satisfaction. And I think oftentimes that's what we search for sometimes. We don't say it, but when we play, we want that emotional satisfaction we get when we play correctly.
Mr. Miyamura has given his whole life in order for us to have this opportunity right now to play underneath him, and also to show the music and how it is so important in our lives and why we should have music.
We most definitely appreciate his effort. Without him, it would be difficult for our youth symphony to run.
Today's rehearsal was it wasn't just like any other rehearsal, because every rehearsal has its own special meaning to it that we learn. We're beginning to express ourselves and the music also. And then, since the concert is coming near, we should already be at this level. And we're proving to him that we can play it, and now he can really drill us on how we can make it even better for the audience and us.
Emotionally, by being able to play music and going through all the challenges of putting trumpet, trombone, horn, strings, and percussions all together, and you learn to actually harmonize with each other.
Some people will not go into music or even play music, but they know that music exists. So what they think about people that are playing music is they're musicians and they create music. And music is in every person, and everybody knows how really touching it can be. My bottom line is my passion for music was born because the power of music was expressed through what I've done, especially through the HYS program.
Well, it does not matter where you do music or you pursue business, math, it does not matter. Music will always be part of our life, no matter where you go.
We were delighted to meet these music leaders and orchestra members. They bring such great value, not only in teaching music and orchestral teamwork and enriching their own lives and the lives of their families and friends, but also, of course, in providing the gift of music to our community.
What a great experience it was to meet and learn about the Hawaii Youth Symphony. We think every kid could and should participate, and every parent should encourage every kid to participate as well. We need music all around us.
I'm Jay Fidel. Thanks for joining us on ThinkTech.
And I'm Duke Oishi. Aloha, everyone.